Hello, everyone, and welcome. You are watching Eagle News America. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Man Manzano Garzon coming to you from Sicklerville, New Jersey. Tonight, we have updates from several of our correspondents from North and South America. May Davila and Ciudad de Panama reports about the resumption of the use of hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID-19 patients. Ronnie Lee in Kodiak, Alaska reports about the 7.8 quake of the Alaska coast last night, triggering a tsunami warning. I'm Lynn Ramos in Washington, D.C.
President Trump relaunches coronavirus briefings and supports the wearing of masks.
Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Farmers Market Nutrition Program provides fresh and healthy local food for hungry Pennsylvanians.
Carlo Valdez in Union Township, New Jersey reports about martial arts and self-wellness studios reopening for indoor classes in New Jersey. Now, Rani Bayuga in Parisburg, Ohio.
Ohio governor issues mandatory mask order.
Jehan Yap in Van Nuys, California.
Mayor Eric Garcetti welcomes the National Women's Soccer League to Los Angeles.
And for sports, Melissa Potes in Orlando, Florida reports about NBA champion Kawhi Leonard staying focused despite a different layout of the 2020 season. But first, an overview of how the world looks now. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 15,400,000. This includes more than 3,900,000 in the United States. The virus has claimed more than 619,000 lives worldwide. This includes more than 142,000 deaths in the United States. Our coverage begins now. Florida's main teachers union on Monday sued Governor Ron DeSantis and other authorities to stop schools from reopening in August, as the state has become a U.S. epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Florida Education Association, which represents 140,000 teachers, says the state constitution asserts that schools must provide a safe and secure environment, but that the COVID-19 resurgence is remarkable and out of control.
The Commissioner of Education under the governor's watch came out and said, we're going to reopen all brick and mortar schools, the actual buildings. We're going to have kids go back to their school buildings, and we're going to do that regardless of what's happening with COVID. And so we do not believe that it's responsible. The Florida Constitution here in our state says that the government has the responsibility, the state government has the responsibility to have, among other things, safe schools. Every teacher I've talked to, they want to be back in school. We know it's the best place for kids. We want to be there teaching our kids, interacting with our kids. The social and emotional connections are so important in this work. But we can't do it if we're not going to be safe, and we can't do it if we don't take steps to ensure that we have procedures in place so that everyone is safe until we have a vaccine for coronavirus.
Florida reported 10,347 new COVID-19 cases and 90 deaths on Monday, bringing the total death toll to 5,072. Officials say more than 9,500 novel coronavirus patients have been hospitalized, and just 18% of intensive care beds are available. The lawsuit calls on DeSantis State Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran and the mayor of Miami County to desist from unnecessarily and unconstitutionally forcing millions of public school students and employees to report to unsafe brick and mortar schools. On July 6, Corcoran ordered schools to reopen for academic year that begins in August, unleashing a tsunami of protests from parents, teachers, and pediatricians. DeSantis said that children have a low probability of contracting COVID-19 without mentioning that even asymptomatic children can infect adults. He also said that he would have no problem sending his kids to school if he had school-age children. Meanwhile, the United States has ordered China to close its consulate in Houston and accused of it ramping up spying operations dramatically, escalating diplomatic tensions between the feuding superpowers. Wednesday's announcement infuriated Beijing, which vowed to retaliate as the two countries squabble over a slew of issues ranging from trade to the coronavirus pandemic and China policies in Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and the South China Sea. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says in a press conference with Denmark's foreign minister during a visit to Copenhagen that President Donald Trump will continue to take actions over China that protect the American people, their national security, and economy. The United States has ordered China to close its consulate in Houston and accuse it of ramping up spying operations, dramatically escalating diplomatic tensions between the feuding superpowers. Take a look.
Trump has said enough. We're not going to allow this to continue to happen. You've seen the remarks that National Security Advisor O'Brien gave, that FBI Director Wray gave, and that Attorney General Barr has given. We are setting out clear expectations for how the Chinese Communist Party is going to behave. And when they don't, we're going to take actions that protect the American people, protect our security, our national security, and also protect our economy and jobs. That's the actions that you're seeing taken by President Trump. We'll continue to engage in those.
In related news, according to local media, Assistant Fire Chief Roy Lozano says firefighters were denied access to the Chinese consulate in Houston, Texas, when they tried to enter the facility on reports that documents were being buried in trash cans in the courtyard.
8:20, the Houston Fire Department responded to a fire call here at 3400 block of Montrose at the Chinese consulate. Initial call said there was probably a fire in the courtyard. Crews, once they arrived on location, didn't really see a huge fire or smoke, any indication that there was a significant threat. When attempting to make entry, they were denied access to the facility, and as part of international agreement, we do not enter without consent unless there is a threat to health and safety.
In New York, sanitation workers removed graffiti and cleaned the site of Occupy City Hall in New York City after police removed the remaining protesters out of a month-long encampment. The protesters demand a cut of at least $1 billion from the NYPD or New York Police Department budget. The city council approved the reform and Mayor Bill de Blasio signed it into law. Eagle News America will be back after this break. Stay with us.
Tatawagin ko na ang 5 contestants na papasok sa finals.
Nasa inyong mga kamay ang kanilang kapalaran at 100% ng desisyon ay manggagaling sa inyong boto. Kaya vote na sa pinakamagaling na contestant. Kung ikaw ay Team Angel Nicole Francisco, text TNG Space Angel. Sa palagay mo, Cosmic Angels ang pinakamagaling. Text TNG Space Cosmic. kung Power Duo ang nagpahanga sa'yo. Text TNG space Power. Support na kung napahanga ka ni Jonah Chris Pangilio. Text TNG space Jonah Chris. Number 1 at the best na para sa'yo si Edrain Oclarino. Text TNG space Edrain. Boto na at isend sa 0922-110-1400. Isang boto kada isang mobile number. Make sure na tama ang keyword para valid ang boto mo. Pwede rin kayong bumoto via online. Pumunta lang sa Tagisan ng Galing channel sa YouTube. Hanapin ang performance ng paborito niyong contestant. Panuurin, i-like at i-share. 25% ang text votes, 25% ang views, 25% ang like at 25% ang share. Kaya naman lahat ng boto, views, like at shares nyo ay mahalaga. So vote now! At sabay-sabay nating abangan kung sino ang tatanghaling ultimate grand winner sa Tagisan ng Galing!
You are watching Eagle News America. I am Mayan Manzano Garzon in Sicklerville. Panama resumes the use of hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID-19 patients. And Ciudad de Panama, May Davila has the details.
Panamanian health authorities made a decision to authorize the use of hydroxychloroquine in the treatment of patients affected by COVID-19, nullifying the resolution that prohibited it last May. The Health Minister Luis Francisco Sucre said during a press conference to update data on the COVID-19 that this decision was made by the Dirección Nacional de Salud Pública, which voided the circular that prohibited the use of hydroxychloroquine. Sucre indicated that the treating physicians of these patients have the responsibility and the capacity to make the decision for the use of both hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin, or only the former. But the head of the Ministerio de Salud pointed out that its use will depend on the medical history of the patient and on examinations done, such as electrocardiograms, after consulting our cardiologists or specialists that will determine if the patient can receive said treatment. On May 26, the Ministerio de Salud banned the use of hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin, as well as chloroquine, in the treatment of patients with COVID-19. The suspension of this treatment was based on scientific studies that showed that it did not benefit patients at all, but instead produced side effects such as cardiac irregularities, among others. During the press conference, Minister Sucre reported that the national government continues to work with a team of local scientists and professionals so that by the time the international health organizations approve the use of any vaccine, Panama is already on the list. He also said that the use of convalescent plasma continues to be strengthened to apply them to patients suffering from the disease. The actions are aimed at patients from both the Ministerio de Salud and the Caja de Seguro Social. Desde Ciudad de Panama, May Davila, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes.
Thank you, May. A 7.8 quake off the Alaska coast triggers a tsunami warning last night. Here is a report filed by Eagle correspondent Ronnie Lee. Take a look.
Earlier today at approximately 10:21 p.m. in the evening, the National Weather Service issued a tsunami warning to those living here on the island of Kodiak. Kodiak Island, as well as those living in the southern part of Alaska and along the chain of Aleutian Islands, were given this warning following the 7.8 earthquake that hit the southern part of Alaska. All of the residents were advised by the local authorities to move to higher ground or inland until the warning was lifted. Residents were also being directed to either seek shelter at the top of Pillar Mountain or Kodiak High School. The tsunami warning did not last too long, though. After 2 hours, the residents in Kodiak were advised it was safe to return to their homes. For Eagle News, reporting from Kodiak, Alaska, this is Ronnie Lee, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Ronnie Lee. President Donald J. Trump relaunches coronavirus briefings and supports the wearing of masks. In Washington, D.C., Emeline Ramos reports.
Thank you, Mayan. President Donald J. Trump finally spoke out in favor of mask wearing, with just over 100 days until the presidential election. President Trump warned yesterday that the coronavirus in the United States is likely to get worse before it gets better in his first formal White House virus briefing since the end of April. President Trump also mentioned that some areas of the country are doing well while others are not. Critics have waited for some time now for the president to acknowledge the importance of face masks. Let's take a look.
America's youth will act responsibly, and we're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, wear a mask, get a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact, they'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
President Trump has consistently sought to downplay the severity of the health crisis. He has asserted that the virus will eventually disappear, with more than 140,000 deaths in the U.S. and having more than 60,000 new cases for 8 consecutive days. Polls are showing that 2/3 of Americans are mistrusting President Trump's leadership on the pandemic response. Presidential candidate Joe Biden has opened a double-digit lead in election polls. Nevertheless, President Trump appears to be looking forward to resuming his briefings on the coronavirus. In an interview with another network, the president mentioned that the virus would somehow go away by itself. He even said, quote, "I'll be right eventually." In his press briefing yesterday, President Trump mentioned that there are 2 vaccine candidates that are entering the final stage of clinical trials. He said they were achieved in record time and that 4 other vaccines will also enter the final trials in the following weeks. Take a look.
Mass producing all of the top candidates so that the first approved vaccine will be available immediately. And logistically, we have the military ready to go. We have great people, logistic military people, a wonderful general who's waiting for the vaccine so they can distribute it in record time. That's what's going to happen.
The president remains optimistic and continues to credit his response to the pandemic. Take a look.
There are consequences to shutdowns, and we've saved potentially millions of lives by doing the initial shutdown, but now we're very aware of this disease. We understand the disease to a large extent. Nobody's going to maybe ever fully understand it, but we'll end up with a cure, we'll end up with therapeutics, we'll end up with a vaccine very soon, all 3.
There are polarizing issues facing the nation today. A lot are hoping that the president is correct when he says that there will soon be a vaccine or therapeutics or even a cure for this deadly virus. In Washington, D.C., I'm Melin Bonda Primos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Mayan.
Thank you, Emeline. So you've mentioned as part of your report that Donald J. Trump mentioned some pretty controversial statements, like that the coronavirus will disappear and that he will be right eventually. Now, what does the presumptive Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden have to say about these statements?
Yes, Mayan, I agree that those are strong statements by the president. The former Vice President Joe Biden also had strong words in response to those statements. In his official Twitter account, in response to those statements, he said, quote, "We're paying the price for this president's incompetence every single day." So as you can see, this is going to be a very contentious presidential election. Mayan.
Thank you, Emeline. Be safe. Now, the Farmers Market Nutrition Program provides fresh and healthy local food for hungry Pennsylvanians. In Swarthmore Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan reports.
Thanks, Mayan. The Departments of Agriculture, Aging and Health visited Allison Hills Farmers Market in Harrisburg and reminded low-income seniors and WIC recipients to use their vouchers from the Pennsylvania Farmers Market Nutrition Program, or FMNP, to purchase fresh, local fruits, vegetables, and herbs from farmers markets and farm stands across the Commonwealth. What is the goal of Farmers Market Nutrition Program? Here's Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture Russell Redding to give us the answer.
2 co-equal goals with the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. One, obviously, to get fresh fruits and vegetables in the hands of women, infant children, and seniors who qualify. The other, and equally as important, is to help the farm community, our farm market vendors. We've met some today, who want to come in here, and this is an economic enterprise, right? So they want to provide that as part of their work and business plan, at the same time meet the needs, nutritional needs of women, infant, and children.
The WIC and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program provide low-income seniors and eligible participants in the WIC program with vouchers to purchase Pennsylvania-grown fruits, vegetables, and fresh-cut herbs from approved farm markets and farm stands across the state. This program runs from June to November. In order to protect vulnerable Pennsylvanians and effectively mitigate against COVID-19, vouchers are distributed to participants via mail from WIC clinics and area agencies on aging. Now, why is it important, especially for older adults, to access healthy and nutritious food? We have Pennsylvania Department of Aging Secretary Robert Torres to tell us more about it.
Suffer from food insecurity, have inadequate diets, a higher risk of depression, and other poor health outcomes. So programs such as this one make it possible for vulnerable adults, again over the age of 60 or 60 and over, to access nutritious food and to help them live healthy lives.
With this pandemic, in addition to wearing masks and social distancing and washing your hands, it is also important to maintain healthy lifestyle by eating proper food. Here's Pennsylvania Department of Health Deputy Secretary Cindy Findley to tell us more about it.
As we proceed through the COVID-19 pandemic, it is especially important to take steps to protect our health and the health of those around us. And ensuring we are eating healthy food and getting a good night's rest should not be forgotten. By making healthier food choices, like from your local farmer's market, with the Farmer's Market Nutrition Program coupons, you can maintain a healthy lifestyle.
If you need to find the nearest FMNP market, there is an app called FNMP Locator launched last year by the Department of Agriculture. It is a free app and available on both Apple App Store and Google Play. Once you load it on your mobile device, you can find participating markets or farm signs nearby. The app will show the market location, address, directions, phone numbers, and hours. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Mayan.
Thank you, Myla. This is such a very great initiative. Now, who is eligible to receive the benefits from the Farmers Market Nutrition Program?
So to be eligible, you need to be 60 years old or by December 31st, 2020, and you need to have an income that do not exceed 185% of the federal poverty level, which is currently $23,606 per year for a single person, or $31,894 for a household of two. And if women and children ages 1 to 4 who are already participating in the week are eligible also to receive vouchers. Mayan?
Good to know. Thank you for those information, Myla. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Coming up, more updates from our correspondents. We will return shortly. Stay with us. This is Eagle News America.
Hello there, I'm Alfred, and I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, batch of 2008 in New Era University. I'm currently working as an operations analyst in Autodesk.
Hi, I'm Earl Escanio, and I graduated with Bachelor of Science major in Computer Science in 2010. I am a consultant at Trinity Consulting, LLC.
Hi, I'm Ivy Nakatagal, Bachelor's in Computer Science graduate, year 2010. I'm currently working as a cybersecurity analyst in one of the largest telco here in New Zealand, Coast Park NZ.
I'm Frank David Riego, a BS Computer Science graduate here in 2015. As a legal analyst, I am tasked to read US cases, specifically civil torts cases.
I am Melanie Rico Hermosity, a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science graduate, year 2006.
I'm currently a software quality assurance engineer at FBI Systems here in Maryland, United States.
Hi, I'm Renzo Cruz. I'm a graduate of BS Computer Science, year 2012. I'm currently working abroad, and I'm working as a senior cybersecurity consultant who specializes in digital forensics and incident response. And I am part of a national security in one of the countries here in the Middle East.
I am inviting everyone to study at New Era University. To legit, to great.
Be brilliant in the new era.
Study now at New Era University.
Excellence,
discipline,
service to humanity.
Malaking parte ng pamumuhay namin ang agrikultura. Sa mother side ko, ang kanilang kalakal ay animal husbandry. Sila po ay nag-aalaga ng mga baka. Magmula po sa Pangasinan, napunta po ng Nueva Ecija. Ang father side ko naman po, mula po sa Spain, pagdating nila dito sa Pilipinas, sila po yung tinatawag na uring may lupa. Talagang nabuhay po kami, ibinuhay po sa amin ang agrikultura. Mga mahal kong kababayan, ito po si Robin Padilla, inaanyayahan ko po kayong manood ng Unlad, Kaagapay sa Hanap Buhay. Dito po sa Net 25.
May kaagapay sa hanap buhay.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News America. I am Man Manzano Garzon in Sicklerville. Martial Arts and Self-Wellness Studios are reopening for indoor classes in New Jersey. In Union Township, Bureau Chief Carlo Valdez has the story.
Thanks, Mayan. On Wednesday's COVID-19 briefing, Governor Murphy announced that martial arts, yoga, and Pilates studios who are not licensed health clubs and fall under the definition of indoor recreation can only open up to 25% of capacity. They must observe social distancing, and all participants and instructors must be wearing face masks. The facilities that are licensed health clubs can only open their indoor areas for one-on-one training. Governor Murphy also said, "We know everyone wants to get back to their old workout routines, but outdoor activities are safer than indoor activities." Additionally, to clarify from Monday's COVID-19 briefing and executive order, Governor Murphy also clarified that contact drills and practices for high-risk sports and activities can only be conducted outside in the open air. And as for COVID-19 stats and numbers, New Jersey has received 390 new positive COVID-19 test results, pushing the total to 177,645. Sadly, New Jersey is reporting another 24 COVID-19 deaths, bringing the total to 13,787. Of the deaths that were announced today, only one occurred in July. In Union Township, New Jersey, Carlo Valdez, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Mayan.
Thank you, Carlo, and be safe. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine issues a mandatory mask order. In Parisburg, Eagle News correspondent Roddy Bayuga reports.
Thank you, Mayan. Today, in Governor Mike DeWine's press conference, Governor issued an order making wearing masks mandatory for all 88 counties in Ohio starting Thursday, July 23 at 6 p.m. In the beginning of the month of July, there were only 7 counties in public emergency level 3. Counties at public emergency level 3 are experiencing very high exposure and spread of COVID-19. Governor Mike DeWine then immediately issued mandatory masks to those 7 counties. Today, there are 18 counties in public emergency level 3. There were many causes for the increase, and the governor also issued a warning regarding informal gatherings. And I quote, "We are seeing serious exposure to the virus that are arising from everyday events like church services, small parties, neighborhood get-togethers, children's sleepovers, weddings, and even bridal showers." And he added, "This virus is real, and we cannot let our guards down." The preliminary data received from the counties who were already on mandatory mask orders showed that the amount of new cases tapered off as a result of wearing masks. The original 7 counties did not progress further to level 4. Thus, the governor issued the mandatory mask order to help prevent further acceleration of the new cases. The current stats in Ohio is trending up in positive cases. As of yesterday, an additional 1,527 cases were added, bringing the total to 78,742. The 21-day trend is showing up. Deaths are continue to trend lower at 3,235. Hospital admissions have tapered off at 9,864, and ICU admissions continued its trend down to 2,386. The Office of the Governor also issued today a travel advisory. Those traveling from states whose positivity percentage is at 15% or higher are recommended to self-quarantine for 14 days upon arrival here in Ohio. This applies to those from out of state and people who live in Ohio. The positivity rate of Ohio is currently at 6.2%. The states in the watch include Arizona at 24%, Nevada at 20.5%, Florida at 18.9%, Idaho at 18.6%, Alabama at 18.4%, Mississippi at 17.7%, South Carolina at 15.9%, Georgia at 15.2%, and Texas at 15.0%. Those people traveling to and from those states must self-quarantine upon arrival in Ohio. From Perrysburg, Ohio, Eagle News, I'm Ronnie Bayuga. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Mayan.
Thank you, Rani. With this mandatory order of wearing masks from your governor, are more people wearing masks now?
They are indeed wearing more masks now. I remember just a few weeks ago going to the grocery stores or gas stations, and many people are not wearing their masks. And today, stores like Walmart and Costco have issued rules stating that they must wear masks. And people just walking down the streets are now wearing masks. So it's going to work.
Right. Good to know. Thank you, Rani.
Thank you.
And be safe. Now, Mayor Eric Garcetti welcomes the National Women's Soccer League to Los Angeles, and Banoy's Jehan Yap reports.
Thank you, Mayan. We start our live report from Los Angeles, California, with good news before bringing the current news on the pandemic here. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti tweets, "I'm very proud to welcome the National Women's Soccer League to the best sports town in America. Welcome home, Angel City." As announced by the National Women's Soccer League, or NWSL, Los Angeles has secured the rights for a women's professional soccer team just in time for the spring 2022 kickoff season. Through the organized efforts of a majority female group founded by actress Natalie Portman, media and gaming entrepreneur Julie Ehrman, and venture capitalist Alexis Ohanian, Los Angeles will now have its own professional women's soccer team. As of this time, this group has named itself Angel City as a tribute to its home in the city of Los Angeles, and includes other actresses like Jennifer Garner, sports athletes like Serena Williams, filmmakers, authors, and known figures from the Hollywood and sports scenes, all joined together to provide the financial support needed to make this possible and to meet the increasing demands of fans for the city to have their own National Women's Soccer League team, drawing inspiration from the performance of the U.S. women's national team last year. The official team name and venue partner will still be released at a later date before the end of 2020. Founder Natalie Portman states, "Today, we make an exciting step by announcing the first women majority-owned and led ownership group. I am thrilled by the opportunity to partner with this incredible group of people to bring a professional women's soccer team to Los Angeles. This recent news brings a kind of joy and hope to the city and county of Los Angeles in the midst of a bleak news with the recent surge and spike in the number of positive COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. At this time, many indoor business operations are now closed as mandated last week until further notice. Los Angeles County's Roadmap to Recovery was able to issue safety protocols for barbershops and hair salons to remain operational and offer certain services outdoors in compliance with the state's guidelines, which include physical distancing and infection control measures. All services must be done outdoors, reservations required, with customers wearing face masks at all times, and a business must comply with CAL or OSHA standards for heat illness prevention for outdoor workers. Some of the operations that must remain discontinued until indoor operations are permitted are services that require touching of the customer's face, like eyelash extensions, eyebrow waxing, facials, etc. Any barbering, cosmetology, or personal care services requiring a license must be approved by the California Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. In Los Angeles County, the number of new cases increased today with 3,266 newly reported cases and 64 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases in the county are 164,870 with 4,213 deaths. The Los Angeles Public Health Department announced today that COVID-19 is on track to become the second leading cause of death in LA County. In Van Nuys, California, Jehan Yap, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Jehan. This is indeed a breath of fresh air. And while I don't know much about soccer, what's the draw or appeal of women's soccer, Jehan?
Man, I've never been to a match, but our Eagle News LA team has covered games of the U.S. women's national team. And if you watch our reports, you'll see how exciting soccer can be. These players perform at high level for 90 minutes, rarely taking their foot off the gas pedal. And when they score, the stadium erupts in celebration. Something else to point out about women's soccer is that there are many young girls in the audience who love the sport and dream about being professional players when they grow up. So, to see the sheer joy on their young faces as they watch their idols on the field is very inspiring to witness.
Interesting. Good to know, Jehan. Thank you so much for your report and be safe.
Thank you.
And now for EBC Sports. NBA champion Kawhi Leonard says he is staying focused despite the different layout of the 2020 season. EBC Sports correspondent Melissa Potes has the details.
It's great to be a LA basketball fan. The City of Angels have two of the best teams in the Western Conference in the Lakers and Clippers. Clippers All-Star Kawhi Leonard discusses the significance of this 2020 season after a long hiatus.
This is just the layout of this year, you know, so just pretty much stay focused. I mean, you know, it's not like a regular NBA season. You know, nobody's life is, you know, pretty much how they planned it to be at this point, you know, with the pandemic. So, I mean, just you take it for what it is. And, you know, everybody's happy that, you know, a championship will be crowned this year. And if that's the 2020 championship, then, you know, we won it. So, you know, that's how I look at it. This is what the layout is, and it's for us to go out there and, you know, complete this journey.
Will Kawhi end the season with another NBA title? Stay tuned for more highlights on the restart of the NBA season. In Orlando, Florida, Melissa Potes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for that sports update, Melissa. Now coming up, more updates from our correspondents. We will return shortly. Stay with us. This is Eagle News America.
Hello there. Imagine Demi got the virus, and she infected 2 more. And those 2 infected a lot more of people. And it goes on and on until it became an epidemic. But what if Demi stayed at home? Then those 2 wouldn't have contracted the virus. then those people would have not been infected. This is not just your battle, it's everyone's, and you can be a huge help. Follow social distancing, or better yet, stay at home.
This is Eagle News America. I am Mayan Manzano Grazon in Sicklerville. Last night, we learned how to make bulletproof coffee. Tonight, we get to learn how to make a much-needed, refreshing drink this summer, winter melon milk tea. Let's join EBC friend Gia Ganuelas Roldan in her kitchen in San Antonio, Texas, as she shows us how to make this yummy drink. Take a look.
Summer is here, and why not cool off with a refreshing, exotic beverage?
Hi everyone, welcome to Gia's Kitchen. I am Gia Ganuelas Roldan, and for today I'm going to share a simple recipe of winter melon milk tea.
For our ingredients, we need the following: 1 1/2 tablespoon of winter melon syrup and 1 1/2 tablespoon of fructose syrup. We also need 1/4 cup of creamer, boba pearls or tapioca, and 1/4 cup of black tea. Let's put the 1/4 cup of a black tea first to our drink mixer. And then let's add a creamer. Then let's add the fructose syrup. And lastly, add the winter melon syrup. And then let's mix all together. And then let's add some ice. And then let's shake it again. And then let's just put some boba pearls or tapioca pearls to your glass. And just transfer the winter melon milk tea.
I hope you enjoy this winter melon milk tea recipe. In San Antonio, Texas, I am Gia Ganuelas Roldan, Eagle News. We live in interesting time.
Thanks, Gia. That looks very refreshing. It's very tempting. Now I have to make that here at home. And now it's time for our group chat, the most fun part of tonight's program. Now let's ask our Eagle News team, our correspondents tonight, if they were milk tea, what flavor would they be? And what are their favorite or top 3 or top 1 favorite milk tea? Now let's start with Jehan. Jehan?
Oh, I've only ever tried chai milk tea, so I guess chai milk tea.
Why?
I mean, it kind of tastes exotic in a way.
Ooh.
And exotic.
Unique, different, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Jehan. Chai milk tea. I've yet to try that myself. How about Surani? Surani, what's your favorite milk tea? And if you were a milk tea, what flavor would you be?
My favorite is taro. And if I were milk tea, I'd still be taro. Because I'm sweet and nutty. But
How about Miss Myla?
Hey, Mayan. My favorite is matcha tea. But if I'm gonna be a milk tea, I'm gonna pick pineapple.
Pineapple.
Yes, because I think it's not because of the taste of it, but because of how it looks like. Because you know how organized pineapples are. I love putting labels and everything. So I guess it's the organizing part of it, our organizing ability, and I believe pineapple shows that on how it looks like. You know how all those the how it's layered outside the pineapple. So yes.
But then you're also gonna be very difficult to peel.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's how about we go to Miss May Ramos. Favorite milk tea first.
Hi, Mayan. Well, I love winter melon milk tea. So perfect that Gia showed us how to do it.
Right.
Yes. Also, I like coffee milk tea. You know, both I usually order with boba and aloe vera. Aloe vera gives that a unique, texture to it. And because I'm always sleepy and always in need of caffeine, if I were a milk tea, I'll always go back to coffee. So coffee milk tea for me, not too bitter, also a bit of sweetness there too.
Perfect combination, but I haven't tried that also, so I'm gonna try all of your recommendations, and it's always fun to learn those facts about everyone. For me, I'm gonna be like Sir Rani. I'm also very basic. The most basic of the basic milk tea is taro milk tea, I guess. Without, sorry, I think I'm gonna be bashed, but I don't put boba in my boba.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I honestly don't like it, but so it's just like pure drink. And they are very exciting and fun chat, everyone. Thank you for sharing your milk tea favorites.
Thank you, Mayan.
Right. Thank you and good night, everyone. But before we let you go, we continue to thank our frontline and essential workers with a round of applause. That is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us and hope you'll tune in next time. I am Mayan Manzana Grazon. We live in interesting times.
Ang layunin ng UNLAD, Kaagapay sa Hanap Buhay, itong programang ito, sa pangunguna ng ating tagapamahalang pangkalahatan ng Kapatid Eduardo Manalo, ay masasabi nating 4 na layunin. Una ay akitin natin tao sa paghahanap buhay. Ang ikalawang layunin na ituro sa tao kung ano ang iba't ibang hanap buhay na maaari niyang gawin sa bahay lang. At ikatlo ay turuan natin ang tao na magbigay ng panahon sa mga hanap buhay ukol sa agrikultura. At ang ika-4 ay bibigyan natin ng pagkakataon ang mga kapatid at hindi man kapatid na mabigyan sila ng trabaho. Kaya sana ay itong ating programa ay magtagumpay sapagkat napakaganda ng layunin nito.
Marami mang pagsubok na dumaraan,
naganap ang kahirapan, kawalan ang hanap buhay.
sa atin ay may aagapay, sa pagbangon may karamay. Lakasan natin ang ating loob, malalampasan natin sa tulong ng Diyos. Kaagapay sa hanap buhay, labanan natin ang kahirapan, magsikap, maghawak kamay. Kinabukasan ay uunlad, may kaagapay sa hanap buhay. alam kung saan kukuha. Pangtusto sa pamilya, paano kikita?
Huwag mawawalan ng pag-asa, di ka nag-iisa. Ang unlad na biyaya ng Diyos, sama-sama nating itaguyon. Kaagapay sa hanap buhay, labanan natin ang kahirapan. Magsikap, maghawak kamay. Kinabukasan ay uunlad, may kaagapay sa hanap
Tara na, kumilos na
sa iyong kamay, nakasalala. Tutulungan ka ng unlad, may kaagapay sa hanap buhay, sa hanap buhay. Labanan natin ang kahirapan, magsikap, maghawak kamay. Kinabukasan ay uunlad, may kaagapay sa hanap buhay.
ang panahon upang ikaw ay mahalin. Bukas na walang hanggan, ako'y maghihintay.
Ito po si Ramon Christopher. Abangan niyo po ako sa Himig ng Lahi ngayong linggo alas 8 ng gabi dito po sa Net 25.
Ang lahat sa akin, sa may kapal, aking dinadalangin. Dapat ba kitang limutin?
Sa detalye ng ating mga balita, umakyat na sa 72,269 ang kabuang bilang ng mga kaso ng COVID-19 na naitala sa bansa. Ito ay matapos makapagtala ang Department of Health ng 1,594 na bagong virus infection. Patuloy namang nangunguna sa listahan ng top provinces na may bagong naitatalang kaso ang National Capital Region. Sinundan ng Cebu, Zamboanga del Sur, Negros Occidental at Rizal. May 342 naman na bagong naitalang naka-recover mula sa virus. Dahil dito, aabot na ngayon sa 23,623 ang kabuang bilang ng naka-recover mula sa COVID-19 sa bansa. May 6 namang naitalang bagong nasawi dahil sa virus. Sa ngayon, umakyat na sa 1,843 ang kabuang bilang ng mga nasawi dahil sa COVID-19. May 89 namang inalis mula sa kabuang bilang ng naiulat na COVID-19 cases sa bansa matapos matukoy na duplikasyon ang mga ito.
2.6%.